Hello everybody, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel. Today we're going to be going over my top 5 must-have weapons. I will also show where to find them and the modifications and the perk build. So let's go ahead and get into the video. For the first weapon I chose the Fixer. Let's go ahead and get into the first demonstration. For demonstration number 1, we're going to be using the Fixer. The Fixer is probably one of the most insane weapons in the game. Yeah, no doubt about it. You can just see it's wiping these super mutants out with no ease, or with complete ease. Almost slipped up right there. Sometimes it can be a little inaccurate, but it's okay because it makes up in damage. And that's pretty obvious. Oop, you're not dead yet. So yeah, that's. Oh wait, hold up. That's Westack. So yeah, this is gonna be your bloodied commando build with the Fixer. I'll go ahead and move on to demonstration number 2. For my second demonstration, we're gonna be killing the glowing behemoth. Definitely one of Appalachia's scariest enemies. Let's go ahead and give him a little wake-up call. There we go. And we'll go ahead and take him out. So that is it for the glowing behemoth in demonstration number 2. I'll go ahead and show you guys the perk build and the modifications for the bloody commando Fixer build. To get the Fixer plan, you will have to come to, I'm not really sure if it's every train station, but I'm here at the White Spring train station. And you will have to walk up to this poster, "The Sheep Squatch Ate My Brother," read it, and go to the Van Lowe Taxidermy in Lewisburg, which if you would like a location, it's right here. Here's Lewisburg. So go there and you can start up the quest line that will give you the Fixer. Once you're done, it will give you a key card which you will take to the Pylon ambush site, and you will start up the encrypted event. And then, from only then, when you complete the event, you will have a small chance to unlock the Fixer. Another way is by going to player vendors, like such, and seeing if they have it in the plans section. They might be selling them. I've seen people sell the Fixers up for just about 100 caps, so you can get them pretty easily. Let's go on to the perk build and the modifications I used. Modifications that I was using the Bloodied Fixer, which if you don't get a Bloodied, an anti-armor will work just fine, but Bloodied is going to be what you're shooting for. I'm using the Powerful Automatic Receiver, the Standard Long Barrel, the Forceful Stock, the Perforating Magazine, the Reflex Sight Dot, Suppressor. That's going to be it for the modifications. We'll move on to the perk build. So for this perk build, we have 3 in Strength, 15 in Perception, 1 in Endurance, 5 in Charisma, 2 in Intelligence, 15 in Agility, and 15 in Luck. We're going to be using the Blocker perk, along with all of the Commando perks, along with Tank Killer, 1 in Concentrated Fire, and 2 in Glowing Sight. We're going to be doing 1 in Radical, and because I don't have any friends to play with, we're going to be using Lone Wanderer, and 3 in Tenderizer. You're going to want to have 3 in Nerd Rage, but I only have 2, but I left the extra point for whenever you get 3. You're going to want to have 3 in Action Boy, 3 in Covert Operative, Escape Artist, 3 in Gung Fu, and 5 in Adrenaline. 3 in Bloody Mess, 3 in Better Criticals, 3 in Class Freak, 2 in Starched Jeans, and 3 in Critical Savvy. You also want to get the 4-leaf Clover perk. I'm not really sure, I can't really remember the name, but that's going to be the one you're going to want to save up that 1 point for. And for my legendary perks, that's going to be it for the Fixer. We'll move on to my second weapon on the list. For the second weapon on the list, we have the Plasma Caster, Let's go on ahead and move on to demonstration number 1. For demonstration number 1 on weapon number 2, we're back again at West Tech using the Plasma Caster. The Plasma Caster is most definitely one of the best weapons when it comes to heavy builds, in my opinion. Oh, he didn't die. It practically just about one-shots everything. Definitely one of the best guns in the game. Except for one drawback is it may or may not be very inaccurate. Some people say this thing shoots for the moon and sometimes it hits its target like it's John Wick. So expect for it to be a little interesting sometimes, but it looks to have done pretty well. And we'll go ahead and take that out. But that's it for demonstration 1 on the Plasma Caster. We'll move on to demonstration number 2. For weapon 2's second demonstration, we're back at the glowing behemoth. We're going to go ahead and let him wake up, get a little closer so we can use VATS properly. And the Plasma Caster makes quick work of the glowing behemoth. Although it does use up a lot of your VATS. But that's going to be it for demonstration number 2. For weapon number 2, let's get into where to get the weapon plans, the modifications used on the gun, and the perks build. To unlock the plans for the Plasma Caster, you will have had to have beaten the main storyline and have Vault 79 unlocked. Then you can walk over to Rex and go to his notes. And you may have to scroll down a good little bit to find what you're looking for. I've already purchased this, so it's going to be at the very bottom for me. But here it is, the Plasma Caster and the Plasma Caster modifications. It's relatively pretty cheap, and by endgame you should have enough gold saved up as long as you've done a couple events. And the main storyline should give you enough gold, practically enough to buy you already it right here. Now let's move on to my modifications and the perk build. Moving on to my modifications on my Plasma Caster, we're using the Bloodied. It's okay to get anti-armor, but Bloody's going to be the one you're going to want. For the modifications, we have the Prime Capacitor and the Aligned Sniper Barrel. Those should be the only two you're going to need and should maximize your range and your damage. This is a VATS build, so keep that in mind. Let's move on to the perk build. So for the perk build, we have 13 in Strength, 4 in Perception, 1 in Endurance, 3 in Charisma, 8 in Intelligence, 12 in Agility, and 15 in Luck. We're running all the Heavy Gunner perks, along with Blocker to take less damage, and Lock and Load to reload faster. Concentrated Fire for that ultimate VATS accuracy, Glowing Sight for glowing enemies, Radical, Tenderizer, Nerd Rage, Power User, and Stabilize. This is a Power Armor only build, so you're going to want to run these two perks for sure. Covert Operative, Gung Fu, Adrenaline, and Action Boy. You do not have to have Gung Fu on, I just like to use it because it makes me feel like John Wick. You have Bloody Mess, Better Criticals, Class Freak, Starch Jeans, Critical Savvy, and One Gun Army. And for the Legendary perks, these are what we're running. That's it for gun number, or weapon number 2. Let's move on to weapon number 3. For the third weapon on the list, we have the Chainsaw. Let's go ahead and get into the first demonstration. For weapon number 3's first demonstration, we're back here at West Tech with the almighty powerful Chainsaw, taking out super mutants like butter. Oh, please do not bite me, sir. This weapon takes care of these guys with super ease, laying waste to them easily. Doesn't take much might to take down a super mutant as long as you have a chainsaw with you, and I think that's it. That's the whole place. For some reason, some of the super mutants were already dead, like I'm assuming someone came through here. But let's go ahead and move on to demonstration number 2. For weapon number 3, second demonstration, we're back here with the glowing behemoth. And you can see it is putting him to shame rather quickly, although he's pretty powerful, so you may have to use some extra. If I can find him here. There he goes. He's dead. So that is the glowing behemoth demonstration number 2 with the flaming chainsaw. Let's move on where you can find it, its modifications, and the perk build. To find the chainsaw, you will have to come here to the metal dome. Make sure you're following the path as seen, or else you might get a little lost. There have been many people that get lost trying to find the chainsaw because they don't follow where to go. But it's pretty easy. It's right here. Now, there is no weapon plans for the chainsaw, I'm pretty sure, so you're just going to have to come here to grab it. This is a guaranteed spawn, so here it is. Yeah, this is how you get the chainsaw. I'll show you guys how to find the modifications as well. We're here at the Watoga station on the map. All you have to do is walk inside the train station and you'll find a vendor that once you go over to modifications, you'll see Chainsaw Flamer. You should also see some more modifications in here, but this is where you're going to want to come. If you can't find it, try to go over here to the shopping plaza. But let's get on to the modifications and the perk build. For the modifications that I was using the vampires. I was also using the dual bar and the flamer. All of these can be found at the Watoga station. On to the perk build. I'm using 15 in strength, 2 in perception, 4 in endurance, 5 in charisma, 7 in intelligence, 9 in agility, and 14 in luck. We're going to be using the slugger perks, the incisor, blocker, and slug. And of course, like I said, all the slugger perks. We're going to be using 2 in glowing sight, 2 in life giver, 1 in adamantium skeleton, 1 in radical, 2 in suppressor, 3 in tenderizer, 2 in nerd rage, 3 in power user, 3 in stable tools because they break pretty quickly, 1 in action boy, 2 in ninja, 1 in escape artist, 5 in adrenaline, 3 in bloody mess, 3 in better criticals, 3 in class freak, 2 in search genes, and 3 in critical savvy. That's going to be it for weapon number 3. Moving on to weapon number 4. For the 4th weapon, we're going to be using the flamer. So let's go ahead and get into the first demonstration. We are back at West Tech for Weapon 4's first demonstration with the Flamer. The Flamer is a very, very good weapon. Its DPS is very, very high, which makes it one of the best guns in the whole game, hands down. This thing can solo Earl very easily, so this definitely ranks high on a lot of people's list if they're doing a ranking. So definitely one of the best guns in the entire game, if, like I said, not probably the best when it comes to heavy weapons. So, but yeah, that's all of West Tech completely cleared out pretty quickly. Let's move on to the second demonstration. To find the weapon plans for the Flamer, you're going to want to come to the White Spring Resort and head all the way down in the vendor area to this vendor. Once you head down, you can go to his notes and you'll find it right here for the Flamer. And to even get more of a discount, make sure you're having that hard bargain perk on because every cap makes the difference. On to the mods for the weapon. To find the mods for the Flamer, you're going to want to head back down to the Watoga station, where then, when you walk inside, you'll be greeted back with the same vendor, which if you head over to the mods, you'll start to see the modifications for the Flamer. Now, I don't see any Flamer modifications in here for me, so you may have to do a couple server hopping. If you can't find one here, I recommend you go to the Watoga Shopping Plaza or maybe some of the other stations, for example, the White Spring Station. Let's move on to the mods that I have on the weapon and the perk build. For the modifications that I'm using on my flamer, I'm using the Holy Fire, which can only be obtained for the Beast of Burden event, which spawns in randomly. I'm using the Napalm tank and the large propellant tank for my flamer. That's it for modifications. I'll show you the build. We're using 13 in strength, 3 in perception, 4 in endurance, 6 in charisma, 8 in intelligence, 8 in agility, and 14 in luck. We have all of the heavy gunner perks along with lock and load for faster reload speed and blocker to take less damage. We have reactor, which is gain plus energy resistance. We have glowing scythe to deal 40% more damage to glowing enemies. We have life giver, adamantium skeleton, and radicool. Friendly, and this perk should be changed out for 3 in tenderizer. We're using nerd rage, power user, stabilizer. This is a power armor build. 2 in action boy, 5 in adrenaline, 3 in bloody mess, 3 in criticals, 3 in one gun army, 3 in class freak, and 2 in starch jeans. That's going to be it for weapon number 4. Let's move on to weapon number 5. For the final weapon, I'm going to be using the Tesla rifle. Let me go ahead and show you the first demonstration. For the 5th and final weapon's first demonstration, we are back at West Tech using the Tesla rifle. This gun is just a lot of fun because of its damage, and it's just so good. The only complaint I have with mine is that it isn't a quad, because everyone knows that a quad Tesla rifle, it slays harder than anything. But I mean, this will do just as well. It's not a complete necessity that you get a quad, but it sure does make the gun a lot funner to use, and of course a lot better. For sure, especially if you're doing things that require killing multiple enemies, then you can use the Tesla rifle, which works really well. Let's go ahead and just take this guy out. That's it. That's demonstration 1 with the Tesla rifle here at West Tech. Let's move on to demonstration number 2. For the 5th and final weapons, demonstration number 2, we're going to be going up against the glowing behemoth. Only downside, like I've already said about this weapon, is the fact that its magazine capacity is not so great. But of course it does make quick work of the glowing behemoth in about 2.5 magazines. So its only really downside is the magazine capacity. But that's going to be it for demonstration number 2. I'll show you where to find the Tesla cannon and its mods. To get the weapon plans for the Tesla rifle, you just have to come to this guy. Once you go into his vendor, you should find it somewhere down at the very bottom. He does have a lot of plans, so it might take you a second, but here it is. The Tesla rifle. Make sure that you are using your hard bargain perk to get even more of a discount. Let's move on to where to find the modifications. To get the modifications for the Tesla rifle, you're going to want to make your way back down to the Watoga station, where you will talk to the vendor bot to find your mods. Sometimes it might not be in here. Do not be frustrated. You can always go to the Watoga Shopping Plaza, or you can also go hit up all the other different stations. You can find them by just following the railway track. You'll eventually find them. They're pretty much everywhere, and they're not too hard to find. Here's another one right here. So that's going to be how you're going to get your modifications. Let's move on to my modifications and the build. For my modifications, I'm using a bloodied Tesla rifle, but the best Tesla rifle you could probably get is most likely going to be a quad. But I like bloody builds, so this suits me just fine. But, of course, you're probably going to want to get a quad if that 15 magazine capacity really does bug you. We're using the automatic barrel, which you can always find the rest of these by using different perk builds. For example, the shotgun with the shotgunner perks, sniper perks, and it will normally come semi-automatic, but you're going to want to get the automatic barrel. And the only other thing on here I have is the reflex sight and my paint job. But that's going to be it for the modifications. Let's move on to the perk build. So for the perk build we were using in this video, we're going to be doing the 2 in strength, 15 in perception, 1 in endurance, 5 in charisma, 7 in intelligence, 14 in agility, and 12 in luck. For the perks, we're using blocker, all the commando perks, along with taint killer, concentrated fire, glowing sight, 1 in radical, lone wanderer, tenderizer, nerd rage, science expert, science master, action boy, covert operative, escape artist, gung fu, adrenaline, bloody mess, better criticals, class freak, and critical savvy. And for my legendary perks, that's going to be it for weapon number 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to make another video similar to my first one, but condense it down a little bit into basically half of what that video was, but still keep it very informative. I wanted to dive deeper into how you get some of these weapons and more of a better perk build, because that one, if anything in my eyes, feels even a little outdated still. And I wanted to make an even better perk video for you guys. I definitely enjoy making these videos. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I know you hear that from a lot of different people, but I'm a pretty small channel, and I really appreciate it if you guys would. If you guys want to see more videos, make sure you guys are commenting, telling me information, good or bad. I love to hear you guys' feedback so I can understand what to do better. And that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.